Starting from the front door of the Gielsland Community Hall, head towards the buildings in front and then come slightly to the left of that to follow the path. Continue straight on the path, heading towards the road, and we're going to start off at a nice easy pace. And let's set our intention for a walk today. So we want to start with nice posture. So roll your shoulders round, back and down. Pull your crown of your head up towards the sky, creating space between your ribs. Gently pull your belly button towards your spine as you engage your core. And have an awareness of your heel striking on the ground. Still carrying on straight ahead. Just feel a nice roll through your foot and just feel for a gentle push off of your toe. Nothing too extreme. Today's walk is a gentle walk. And if we're thinking about a scale of effort, we would like to be somewhere around a 4 today. But for our warm-up section, we're aiming to be around about a 2 or a 3 and we can build up to that. Lovely. Have your thumbs pointing forwards. Try to have them pointed forwards, just to keep that shoulder in a nice position. Continuing on, straight down towards the road that you can just start to see now. Excellent, well done. And we're off to a good start. When you reach the road, now there might be some traffic on this road, so just be aware of that. When you reach the road, we're going to turn to the right, and you're going to start making your way along the tarmac surface. Most of this walk today will be on flat, either tarmac or gravel paths. There will be a small incline towards the beginning of the walk, and there might be some muddy surfaces, so just something to be aware of. Carrying on, adjacent to the stone wall, now you might find that you're on a gentle slope down. So what you want to do here is just sit back gently into your heels and just have a soft knee. Again, the crown of your head pulled up towards the sky. And taking it at your pace, wherever you feel comfortable. The downward slope only goes on for a short distance, and then we'll make our way into Spiers Old School woodland, where we can resume our walk on a gravel surface. Carrying on, you might just be starting to see a stone arch on your left hand side, and that's the arch that we're going to walk through. We're taking a left, coming under the arch. Again, very slight downhill. And this brings us into the woodland. Now we are very quickly going to turn to the left. Now it's not an obvious junction here, but it's the first left turn that you can make, and it's going to take you slightly uphill. If it's a time of year where there's a lot of leaves on the ground, it can be quite hard to find that junction. So it's the first area that you can turn on your left, making your way up the incline by pulling the crown of your head towards you, towards the sky. and pushing off of your toes, creating some contractions in the glutes and in the calf muscles to drive you up that slope. At the top of this wee slope, we're going to continue on round to the right, following the path. Big grass area on your left, trees to your right. And let's just check in with that foot strike, shall we? Let's make sure that we're planting the heel, a nice roll through the foot, and then a gentle push off of the toes. And that push off of the toes is what's going to help to engage your glutes, to engage your calves, and to help strengthen them, to make us fitter in our walk. Carrying on straight ahead. Now you might find it helpful just to think about one foot at a time. So for example, let's take the left, and we can think about the left heel strike, roll through and push off the toe, rather than trying to think about both feet at the same time, which can get a bit confusing. So if you think about one foot going through the full range of motion, and once you feel comfortable with that, then the other. So on that scale of effort, we're maybe now creeping towards the 3, you're maybe at a 4, it depends where you are in your fitness journey. At the crossroads, we're carrying on straight ahead. It's just a small crossroads, easy to miss, but just be aware of it and just make sure that you're heading straight ahead. We'll open up into a clearing, so clearing a grass area on your right hand side. That's just to help you make sure that you're still in the right area, and I'll give you those little cues as we go along. There isn't a great lot of seating on this walk. I think maybe 1 or 2 benches, but it's a short walk. So hopefully not too taxing, but if you do need to take a seat when you come to any of the benches, then please feel free to do so. Just pause the recording and then come back when you're ready. This path rounds round to the left, and we're just carrying on straight ahead. Well done. So let's aim for that 3 or the 4 on that scale of effort. If you're less than that, then you want to try and drive off that toe a wee bit more and pick up your pace. And if you're more than that and you're comfortable with it, then that is absolutely fine. And maybe in that case you might want to consider checking out some more intermediate walks. You can have a look at some of the improver walks. And if you are finding that you're walking faster than I am and you're getting to landmarks like junctions before I am, then you can maybe just want to stop at the landmark. You maybe want to march on the spot, stop yourself from cooling down too much. And equally, if I'm walking faster than you and I'm reaching landmarks first, then you might want to just pause until you catch up. So you should be seeing a stone wall on your left hand side, and you're making your way through some large trees, just rounding very slightly to the left. Just starting to head away from that stone wall now to pick up another stone wall adjacent to the field on your right hand side now. So now we should have a different stone wall on our right hand side. Well done. Keep going. So don't forget about that toe push, but let's take a wee second just to check in with the shoulders. We've spent a bit of time talking about the feet, but let's just remind ourselves to bring the shoulders round, back and down. Thumbs are pointed forwards. In that neutral position. And the crown of the head pulling up towards the sky, core engaged. Now we're passing a memorial, and there's a bench at this point, so feel free if you do want to take a bit of a rest. But otherwise, if you're with me, carry on to the next wee junction, and we're going to carry on round to the right. Just passing a stone archway on our right, and again picking up the stone wall, still on our right. Can you go a bit faster, a bit harder? Obviously, the conditions underfoot allowing. So it could be slippery with leaves. It's very autumnal day today for me, and actually the path's a bit obscured, so it's hard to see where the junctions are. And it is a little bit muddy and a little bit slidey, so please do walk within your limits in terms of the conditions. But if it's good conditions, nice clear surfaces, then yes, do feel that you can pick it up a bit and try and get the heart rate up and maybe a bit out of breath. I would encourage you to try and get out of breath on these walks. Just a little, not to the point where you're panting, but just until you're outside your comfort zone. So let's pass through this sort of metal gate. Not so much a gate, it's like an old gate, an old chicane that you can still see the frame of. And there's a bit of a junction here. For me it's obscured by the leaves, but I'm just going to carry on sort of round to the right. It's almost like straight ahead, but slightly to the right. I don't want to go left at this point. So there's a stone wall facing me, and there's a stone wall beside me on my right. I've got trees to my left. So if you've got the grassy area to your left, you may want to backtrack a bit or check the map and make sure that you're in the right place. So I've walked straight towards the stone wall. I've turned slightly to the right, and the stone wall is now directly adjacent to me. And you'll walk towards a gap in that wall and come back out onto the road. And this time we're going to turn right. You'll see the entrance back into Gielsland. It's an entrance that cars can come through. And you should be faced with a couple of buildings. One that looks like a bit of a castle turret on your right, and straight ahead what looks like a little row of cottages. You're heading towards that row of cottages, just walking up along the road. We're going to continue on this road for a bit. Now let's use this opportunity to really push off those toes, engage your core and drive forward, feeling if there are any contractions in your glutes. And those are the muscles that are going to propel you forwards. And we want to strengthen those muscles because they really will get us walking faster and keep us walking further. Excellent. Where are you on that scale? Are you around about a 4? Maybe you can push it a bit harder if you're not. Should be passing tarmac surface, car park on your left hand side. Just past the cottages on your right, carrying on along the road, and you'll soon start to pick up straight ahead an old stone building. So when you get to the junction just in front of that building, we are going to turn to the right and continue on along the road. Now you've reached the junction, turn right and carry on along the road. It's very slightly rounding the corner, not a corner, rounding a very slight bend. The old stone building now on your left. A couple of stone buildings on your left actually. This is all part of the Gielsland estate. And you'll see a junction on the road, and we're going to take that junction, we're going to turn to the left. Again, bearing in mind if any cars that might be in the area. You're coming in the back of these stone buildings, which will be on your left, and a brick wall, a modern brick wall on your right, and you'll be starting to pick up signs of the car park now. So just pull it back a wee bit now. Pull it back to an even slower pace. And we're going to a cool down walk. And just take a moment to reflect on your walk. Did you manage to have a nice and maintain a nice posture Perhaps you needed me to remind you, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you start to build that habit. Heading along, back to the front door of the Gielsland Hall. A big red building. Just be mindful of that in any future walks. Just try to have those postural cues in mind. Well done. Great walk. Thank you for joining me today. And I do hope you'll come along and check out some of my other walks at various levels from beginner through to pulse raiser. And I hope to see you soon.